What's going on? Aaron here from the Bitcoin Bros, coming back at you with another video today. Going to be going over everything going on in the market today, going into Bitcoin strategy, getting you guys brought back up to speed. As you can see, the CPI numbers came out and we got that year over year number as expected. So we were expecting 2.9% year over year and we got 2.9%. So this is better than what we saw last month. Last month we got a hot reading. This month we got what we expected. So this is signaling to the Fed that, hey, we can go ahead and do that 25 basis point rate cut that is already priced in and that they're already expecting to do. So we'll be looking a little bit more at the inflation data, what the Fed will do later in today's video. Going to jump into strategy here quick. We can see right now strategy is trading at 326. They have 638,000 Bitcoin. Their net asset value is around $73 billion. Looking at where they're at right now in the top U.S. companies ranked by market cap, they're at around 116. So this is important. We talk about this in every video because eventually strategy will be included in the S&P, and the S&P indexes will have to allocate based on their market cap ranking compared to all the other U.S. companies. So good to see that they're still in the top 120 there, and I'm sure as this Q4 could be explosive. Strategy could get back in the top 100. And December 8th is the next key date that we have to be watching out for a announcement that strategy will be included in the S&P 500. And then I wanted to share this with you guys. This is a pretty interesting chart that I saw over on Twitter. What this shows is historically what strategy's MNAV has been quarterly. And as you can see right now, we're at a 1.49x MNAV. And historically, that's what we saw in Bitcoin bear markets and is kind of to the lower range. So right now, strategy may be massively oversold. Right now could be a great time to pick up strategy. And this is not where strategy has always been. Like even last year, a couple years ago, strategy went down to a 1x MNAV, but this is just quarterly averages. So right now we can see strategy could be super undervalued, especially during a Bitcoin bull market. And you can see that there was a lot higher MNAVs back in the bear markets, quarterly average. So this could be an indicator to buy some cheap strategy shares, not financial advice there. And if you look at where metaplanet is at right now, they're at around 1.46. So they actually fell below MSTR's MNAV. They have a huge, I believe, $1.2 billion Bitcoin buy coming very soon. They're going to be adding a lot to their Bitcoin stack in a short amount of time. So you have to watch out for what metaplanet is doing. And they may also be a good buy now compared to where they have been historically when you look at their MNAV. So just to pivot away from strategy a little bit and the Bitcoin treasuries, we can look here, September 17th. This is the day that you guys should have on your calendar. This is the next FOMC meeting. And right now the market is pricing in a 25 basis point cut. We just got the CPI data, so we know the Fed is still looking to do that 25 basis point cut. And this is going to be bullish for all markets. And I wanted to show you guys what Bitcoin did last year when we got those interest rate cuts. So last year we got some interest rate cuts. The first one was on September 18th. This was a 50 basis point cut. And we got another 25 basis points in November, and then another 25 basis points late in December. And after that first interest rate cut, Bitcoin rallied around 72%. And year to date, or Bitcoin's current price, so you can see where that could take Bitcoin if we get a couple of rate cuts going into Q4 this year. This is why people have price predictions of $200,000 for Bitcoin in Q4 because interest rate cuts are coming. There's going to be more liquidity, and some of that liquidity is going to flow into BTC. We have had a price prediction of Bitcoin, at least I have, for around $150,000. I've created a model for that. I've showed it in some of the videos. We'll definitely be showing it in more videos to come, so subscribe if you haven't seen that. And here are the Bitcoin ETF flows. Had a massive day yesterday of around $741 million of total inflow. That's around 6,700 Bitcoin bought just yesterday. If these kind of numbers keep up and we start to see hundreds of millions of dollars, more than $500 million of Bitcoin bought every day by the Bitcoin ETFs, Bitcoin's price will rise. That's not financial advice, but if you look at just the 450 that are created every single day, and you have the ETFs buying 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,000 Bitcoin in a single day, and that sustains for months, that would be extremely bullish for Bitcoin. And this is definitely a good sign to see that people are putting their money into BTC because they think Bitcoin is going to be going up in the future, and just means that more and more people are really starting to understand the value of Bitcoin. So these are the Ethereum ETF flows, and yesterday they had a $171 million inflow, and still some decent inflows for Ethereum, but it's good to see that Bitcoin is picking up steam while Ethereum's kind of starting to cool down. People are starting to understand that Bitcoin is actually the long-term asset that you want to hold, and Ethereum is a lot more speculative than BTC. Bitcoin is repricing money, the $400 to $600 trillion total market that is denominated by money. Ethereum is trying to be the new world computer. It's two completely different use cases, in my personal opinion, but I think people are going to start to understand that, and Ethereum is showing that in the flows here as of late. And then I want to share this with you guys. This is actually huge. So we have the money market funds hitting all-time highs as well, around $72 billion in money market funds. And once interest rates go down, we can see some of this money flow out of money market funds as those rates come down. Right now, they're probably around 4 to 5%. If interest rates come down, those go down 2, 1, even lower than that percent. That money's probably going to move, and that money could move into something like Bitcoin, could move into the traditional market, and that's just going to be bullish for BTC. So there's a lot of money there that could flow into Bitcoin over the long term. So all in all, it's looking like we could have a pretty bullish Q4. Everybody is actually calling for a pretty bullish Q4. So that is worrisome when everybody's saying something. That means it may not play out. But if you look at what's actually going on, we're going to get an interest rate cut here in a week, and then we're going to have a couple more FOMC meetings over the next couple of months. And if we get more interest rate cuts, that's going to bring more liquidity, bullish for Bitcoin, bullish for risk assets. And the job market is kind of slowing. So I think what we could see is the Fed panic and say, hey, we need to do maybe a 50 basis point cut, a 75 basis point cut. And if that happens, Bitcoin and other assets are definitely going to go up. And a lot of this money in the money market fund could actually get pivoted over to something like BTC. But it's looking like a good Q4 for Bitcoin. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Do you think strategy and Bitcoin will perform well in Q4? Or do you think it's time to sell? Let me know what you think. My name is Aaron from Bitcoin Bros. I really appreciate you for watching all the way to the end. If you made it this far, like, subscribe. We have new content coming out every single day. Appreciate you again. I'm out. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great rest of your day.